We're here with Frank Galli of Sniper Side. Many of you folks know Frank. Frank, it's good to catch up. Day 3 of SHOT Show.
Yep. How you guys doing? Enjoying it?
Yeah. My feet aren't.
No, my knees.
My feet are on fire, but I'm having a great time.
Exactly. Getting a little bit of the horse throat, so, talking to so many people, it's been crazy.
So what's one of your favorite parts that you really enjoy about SHOT Show?
The networking and...
Sorry. Well, but stuff like that happens too, and that's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah,
that's all part.
No worries.
Absolutely not. It's all part of the ambiance, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you got lots of people here, right?
It's a busy show.
Yeah, if it wasn't a crowded event, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So that's.
I like the networking, the meeting up with people, and seeing and a lot of connections. Reestablishing connections that people have gone into different directions in the industry, and then coming back. And just seeing where everybody lands as they move around the industry,
Yeah.
So that's great.
And as far as any new introductions, product introductions, anything that's really significant in the game of long range
or even
precision
if you find
rifle?
interesting that.
Yeah, I walked the floor pretty considerably. And what I found is, like with the Ruger that come out, and that's a big thing that I get associated with is that RPR rifle. Glenn Seekins has a barrel change kit. It's going to be less than $60, I understand,
Wow.
and you can just knock it off in your vise at the house. Goes into the action, locks into the lugs, allow you to change the barrel really easy. He also has a really cool new low mount, which I thought was neat as well. He's finalizing those hand guards that'll go on it. Barrels now, people are talking barrels with it. Proof has a barrel ready to go for it, so you can put a proof barrel on it, and I know that's been a big highlight for the show. Another one, Ashbury, upgraded chassis in only like $800 retail. Still uses that same center section, so you can go to the really expensive ones, the Sabre Force there, but lower cost. M-Lock, AR furniture, things like that. So that was really cool. SIG is going to blow up. I really think SIG's got some stuff up their sleeve in their electro-optical as well as their scopes. That's going to get knocked out of the park pretty soon.
We'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Well, I mean, going back to the Ruger thing, what I found interesting is before the rifle was really generally available, you already had people making parts for it.
Yes.
And have you really seen a precedent like that? I mean, that much excitement around a product introduction?
Not that fast, but as we kind of alluded to, it's very the 1022 mindset.
Right.
And so you're seeing that just ramped up so much quicker. And it's going to work out really well for like production class, PRS events and things like that to hopefully bring new shooters into our sport. And so, but the speed, no, I haven't seen anything like that.
I thought it was kind of interesting to see some of the new bullets or kind of a refocus, a general focus on bullets, some of the tip bullets. We saw yesterday the G9 bullets right next to Mile High, which are
those lathe turn bullets. That seemed very
interesting. A lot of
interesting.
monolithics coming back around. The Warner Tool stuff that's going with Patriot Valley, they have that bullet very similar. You got the G9, which is that lathe turn monolithic, and the nice thing with the G9, other than being a little lighter, which will bring the velocities higher, they've used a different material, so it shouldn't have a problem interfering with jacket versus monolithic, because normally you can't mix a barrel fired with a jacketed bullet and then put a monolithic in. You got to clean them down and start over. So if this will allow you to interchange, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And, well, they indicated, the G9 folks said they were made out of brass.
Right.
So.
And it's an alloy. It's like,
right.
saying what's a penny made out of, and it's just a mix. And how much of what they put in is really what's going to matter. But I'm looking forward to trying some G9.
Yeah. And the ELDs, those look like they're going to be very, very popular. A lot of interest there. And I'm seeing Nosler really showing an interest in doing stuff in the precision world.
Yes, and I believe Nosler paired with Ruger to do something to work with that. They were telling me to go see Nosler, the Ruger guys, but I mean, that's one of those places we can hot rod. I'm downstairs talking with the Prime guys, and they introduced me to the doctors at Ruag, and there's an interest to expand that Prime line, put better bullets in, and to mix it up, and they're already selling really great factory 260, 6.5 Creed, and things like that, 338. So Ruag's looking to jump in the game, which is another big one, which to me, Ruag and Lapua are, two sides of one coin.
Yep.
And that'll be good.
Yeah, and it also seems you see Sierra, and I believe it's Hornady with their polymer tips, their plastic
Yes.
tips. There seems to be a real desire to eke out every amount of ballistic coefficient that you can out of a bullet design. Whereas, back in the day, match shooting around the course, it was more about accuracy, not so much.
Right.
People didn't talk about BC so much.
And this question, somebody just hit me up on YouTube about it, about why they see me in my videos always shooting factory ammo. And today, we got better barrels, better bullets, and better powder. So we're getting so much more. I mean, this Prime and some of the other stuff and has single-digit SDs out of the box. Why spend the time and reload when you can get this stuff, and then you're still getting good brass if you want to reload. Hornady, I have a great success with Hornady out of the box. So that allows people who are casual shooters and don't want to invest days and hours learning or reloading, and that they could be successful right out of the box. And I think bullets are definitely a big place. I mean, it's computers can tweak, Doppler, all that stuff. I mean, the Doppler numbers that are coming out are making a big difference.
Yeah. Now, on the optics side, anything interesting or observations there? I saw a few new reticles that came out.
The Vortex, the AMG, which I kind of leaked out the other day, and I've known about that for a year. I actually shot that Vortex video a year ago. There's other stuff that I can't even say, but there's a lot of people moving in that space. Schmittenbender, the ballistic computer link is in there now with the 5-25. As I said, SIG, they're coming out with new line, and they're refining what was there that suits what we do more. Night Force with that F1 SHV, that is being featured now, and to me that's sort of in line with a PST. And then reticles. I mean, because that's where people are differentiating. Which scope do you want, scope A or scope B? And my answer to them is always, well, which reticle do you like?
We're seeing a lot of reticles now introducing that center dot.
Yes. Collis has that SKMR3, I believe it is.
IOR has one. They've had one for years.
That was that MP8 or something, I believe. It's just they're all over the place. And I even think SIG might have had a center dot, if I remember. If not, it was an open dot or open center. But
are you hearing any scuttlebutt in the the trigger world? I mean, the Remington 700 compatible trigger. Anything new and exciting?
I like the Cadex. I'm really into. The two-stage stuff. There's that. What is it? Bix and Andy, I believe, has the two-stage stuff that's going on, and they were more of like that Olympic class, which is now 700 replacement and things like that. I'm interested in that trigger because I like the shoes that are adjustable and things like that. You got the CG Jacksons, always good stuff there in the two-stage. I'm a two-stage guy, so I like when people are bringing out these two-stage triggers.
You shoot a lot of AIs, I would imagine, so you really like that.
Correct.
I mean, we felt the tub trigger on rifle. It felt really, really nice.
Very good. Another great two-stage trigger, the adjustable shoe. It has all the features that I like as David's trigger.
Yep.
Huber's also got a nice two-stage out there.
Very much so.
We've been shooting that.
John's running around here crazy.
Absolutely. John's a great guy, and he's a supporter of the sport. He sponsored a stage out there this weekend at Sin City.
All the time. John's there.
Well, let's turn our attention more on some of the stuff going on in your arena. A lot of matches with the growth of the PRS. Again, you're going to have sniper side. Tell us a little bit about kind of the change in venue and what we can expect.
Yep. So we finalized everything for the Sniper Side Cup. We knew it was going to be around June 25th, so we're looking at that weekend. It's going to be just north of Spokane, Washington, and Colville. A lot of reasons for that. Number one, 30,000 acres in the mountains, so we can do 20 stages like we do simultaneously. The big thing is, and we're doing this with Carl Taylor with In Motion Target, he has a fully automated scoring system. The targets are networked, so when you hit the target, that target is going to speak back to the tablet and score the hit. So it's there for the RO to just say, shooter 65 is up, go. You shoot, you hit the target says you hit it. It also then speaks back to a mainframe that's going to back up that.
And tabulate all the scores?
Yep, and tabulate all the scores. So he's been using that for a while. He has that long-range reality TV show, which we're going to get to be a little bit of with the Cup. So there's a lot of positives coming out that. As we mentioned, Carl Taylor makes the in-motion mover.
Yes.
So expect a lot of movers at the Sniper's Hide Cup.
There probably won't be a single stationary target, I predict.
No, I don't think he has that many. He would need 20 mover systems, so.
Well, that's great. So with that scoring system, you're not going to have the clerical errors. You're not going to have, so I hit that. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I saw that.
I mean, the goal is, here's the thing with a lot of like my matches, I go beyond 1,000 yards, and you got a lot of PRS guys, and these guys shooting 6 millimeters.
Right.
And weather happens. Wind, spotters
Right.
shake and vibrate, rain like we had last year. It's hard for ROs, especially an inexperienced RO, to spot a 6 millimeter hit at 1,250 yard on a 16-inch plate that's not going to move when the 6 millimeter hits it. And we don't go out and paint these targets, so it's not like he has a freshly painted target to see the mark. So it becomes, a bit of a battle to try to say hit or miss at those distances. And, if you're shooting 500-600 yards or even in that, then it's easy. But you get 1,250 or more, that's difficult. The goal should be to sort of remove the human error out of it, and that's what the scoring system we're looking at is hopefully going to do for us. Of course, there'll be backups, but at the same time, if we're gonna have a flasher say that we hit the target, why not have a signal that says yes, you did hit the target, that goes right to the tablet?
Right.
So that's the goal is to the RO should be safety.
And I mean, and you mentioned cartridges too. I mean, you can go to Carl's Ant site and you can see the latest, empirical data that's collected from competitors. But what are you personally seeing as far as cartridges and trends in long range precision?
I mean, I think 6.5 is the king of the hill. If you're new, it's the Creedmoor. If you're kind of a seasoned reloader, you'll see people doing the 260 or the SOM. And things like that. There's a lot of 243, 6XC, in the 6 millimeters because in a majority of matches, that speed, has an advantage. When you go out to a match like mine where the targets are farther, the 6 mil sort of loses a little bit to the 6.5s, especially if you go 6.5 SOM. And so that Magnum helps it a little bit. And to me, 308's a training round. It's a legacy round, and in the competition world, unless there's a division for it, it's not performing as well. Doesn't mean you can't take some of these new bullets, heavier bullets, better powders, push them harder and faster, and get excellent performance. It's just we're seeing people not put that effort into that bullet, and they're going somewhere else.
And that's what we saw at the Sierra booth. The guy was saying, our 168 with a plastic tip for like the 30 caliber now is the BC of a 175, and you push that faster, and so you can get more life out of your 308.
And I know for me personally, I could take a 185 Juggernaut, 2000 MR powder, 46 grains, nowhere near Sammy, nice comfortable load. I have a 22-inch Accuracy International, 2,700 feet per second. So I'm getting close to 30-odd 6, 300 Win Mag velocities out of my 308 because better barrels, better powders, better bullets.
And George now has brass for it's not 6.5 SOM, it's a 4S.
Yes.
So that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Hornady brass, if I recall.
It is.
Hornady has
I mean, George definitely sets a trend when it comes to doing these Wildcats and the things and making them become standardized. Look at the 6 Creedmoor.
Right.
He was the engine behind that, and so definitely George has the pulse on what's going on in the comp world.
Now, it's been a year and a half since the transition with Scout Media.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, things have come a long way since then in terms of the level of functionality, user friendliness of the site. Do you have any thoughts or comments in terms of kind of future direction of things that we might be able to expect there?
Yeah, they're definitely moving forward. They're a little slow, which that's because they're kind of do several things at one time as far as the development goes. The app's working out well. You can upload photos from the app now. You can filter and all that. The push notifications are coming. I was kind of expecting them by now, but I would say within the next 35 days or so, we should have the push notifications that everybody wanted and had before. That'll be both app and desktop. The traffic, it's funny, when I had moved the site from UBB to V-Bulletin, it took about 9 months to recover when everybody was all upset because of losses and changes and this and that.
Yep.
Scouts to return to sort of where it was about 13 months. And so we're seeing it, come back to life. I really like the platform that they have now. Again, I would like push notifications and things like that as well, but I think what they've done with it has huge night and day improvements over the beginning.
Yep.
And that I expected. It was a leap of faith in a lot of ways, and I think it's worked out better in my favor. And longevity, the video platform and all that stuff they're doing is definitely better than anything I could have done. And so that's definitely been good. And the funny thing is, when I did the Vortex video, I watched the trend Facebook versus Sniper's Hide. And they stayed neck and neck all day, but then come the second day, Facebook's gone and out of mind, out of sight. And Sniper's Hide going into page 7, page 8, page 9, and it's continuing to grow. So I'm really happy with that, to see the numbers coming back and things like that. So yeah, we're good.
And you've been syndicating a lot of our content. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are doing such a great job. I mean, content's everything, as you know, and to be able to work together, bringing in your YouTube stuff and this kind of stuff, I'm appreciative that you're willing to share. So awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, Frank, we really appreciate you spending some time with us.
It's good to catch up.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys interviewing me, and have a good last day of the show.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.